Caitlin Clark recorded a stat line against the Washington Mystics on Wednesday afternoon that no other professional basketball player in the NBA or WNBA had ever achieved. Clark ended the game with 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 three-pointers, 5 blocks, and 3 steals. The WNBA claimed she was the first player in either league to reach such milestones. The Indiana Fever also claimed she was the first WNBA player to have 25-plus points, 10-plus assists, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus steals, and 5-plus three-pointers in a game. Clark is now averaging 16.7 points, 7.6 assists, and 5.9 rebounds per game this season, and is a strong contender for the WNBA Rookie of the Year award. But even though she posted all these stats in recent months, she wasn't selected for the Olympics squad. But out of nowhere came the news that Caitlin Clark may have a chance to compete in the Olympics after all, if one of Team USA's main players continues to battle with an injury. And this person is no less than star guard Diana Taurasi. Could it be that a big rival falling out could grant Clark's first Olympics? Clark, the first choice in this year's WNBA draft, was controversially left off Cheryl Reeves' core team for this summer's games in Paris, despite her record-breaking collegiate success with Iowa and a promising start in the big leagues with Indiana. Instead, the 22-year-old was selected an alternate, which means she will be one of the first in line if a Team USA member withdraws from the squad. But, with Diana Taurasi now suffering from a lengthy leg injury, Clark might yet be called up to the Olympic squad at the last minute. Taurasi, a 6-time Olympian and Phoenix Mercury guard, is one of Reeves' most important players heading into the games this summer, but she has missed the previous 4 WNBA games due to the issue. She is also absent for the Mercury's game against Clark and the Fever on Friday, putting her hopes of making it to Paris in jeopardy. Clark, who plays in the same position, would be the most logical substitute for Taurasi if she fails to meet her fitness goals in time. Reeve provoked uproar by leaving the Fever phenomenon off her Olympic squad this summer, with Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy labeling the USA authorities responsible dumb women. "Hey dummies," Portnoy raged in a video on social media. "For the first time in the history of basketball, you have arguably the player who is the most popular player in the world. You can argue that Caitlin Clark is the most popular, most puts asses in the seats single basketball player in the world. You can argue that, and you leave her off the Olympics team?" Clark brought unparalleled exposure to women's basketball during her collegiate career at Iowa, and she is already bringing new eyes to the sport in the WNBA, with a number of rival teams shifting their games against Indiana to larger arenas to suit the increasing demand. After previously being chastised for claiming she is not ready for the big leagues, Taurasi was full of praise for Clark during Phoenix's loss to Indiana last month. "It's amazing what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far," the 42-year-old said. "It's been nothing short of remarkable. What she's done for the game has been pretty incredible, and having that momentum coming out of college, eyes on you for 4 years straight." When healthy, Taurasi has demonstrated why she is one of the most skilled players in the WNBA this season, averaging 16.6 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game. Clark, meanwhile, is averaging 16.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 7.6 assists per game, and her impressive start has earned her a spot in the WNBA All-Star Game. For now, it's still unknown whether Taurasi's injury would affect her Olympic eligibility, but if she is unable to travel to Paris, Clark, who was not picked for the official squad but was selected as an alternate, will almost surely fill in. Clark's snub polarized opinion, including that of top Olympic officials. Casey Wasserman, head of the 2028 Olympic Organizing Committee in Los Angeles, said Clark's exclusion was a missed opportunity because she clearly is generational talent at a time when the world was ready for it. Taurasi responded to Clark's removal by noting a higher-level learning curve. "The game of basketball is all about evolving," Taurasi said. "It's all about getting comfortable with your surroundings. College basketball is much different than the WNBA than it is overseas." The American women's basketball superstar was also critical of Clark during the pre-draft process, saying that reality is coming for Clark and other 2024 rookies who were up against grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. However, Taurasi took a different tone after the Mercury's 88-82 loss against the Fever on June 30th. "What do you think? Will Diana Taurasi be deemed fit enough to travel to Paris? Or will Clark be her substitute in a couple of weeks?" The idea of not having Clark at the Olympics surely made waves, as even Adam Silver, a basketball admirer, would have liked to have seen Caitlin Clark on the United States Olympic women's team in this summer's Paris Games. But as NBA commissioner, He knows why it did not occur. From my standpoint, and I'm independent from USA Basketball, somebody whose job is to oversee the NBA and ultimately the WNBA, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but it would have been nice to see her on the floor, Silver said. There's no question that she's one of the most popular players at this point in the world. The ratings demonstrate that. That was Silver, as a fan, chatting. Silver, the basketball executive, however, knew USA Basketball's mandate: identify 12 women with the highest chance of capturing another Olympic gold medal. My mandate is a bit different than USA Basketball's, Silver said. My job is to get more people to watch and love basketball. USA Basketball has a very specific mandate about fielding the best possible team from a competitive standpoint, and I accept that they all did their jobs the way they were instructed to. What's your thoughts on that? Do you agree with that idea? Doesn't Clark fit in the 12 best players at this moment? Although the snubbing of the Olympics must have hurt Caitlin, there were also bright moments in recent weeks, such as the All-Star Squad nomination, and not to forget, winning 2 ESPY awards. Caitlin Clark didn't attend the 2024 ESPY Awards, but she had a memorable night. The 22-year-old WNBA player won 2 awards, the first of which she received during the Thursday, July 11th red carpet show. She won the prize for Best College Athlete Women's Sports. Clark won her second award for Best Record-Breaking Performance, beating out NFL player Christian McCaffrey. Despite being out of state, she sent a virtual message for her acceptance speech. I just wanted to say thank you for this recognition. Obviously, I could not be there tonight, she told the audience, noting, I'm a little bit busy in Indianapolis. She gushed, this award means a lot not only to myself, but to my teammates and coaches that I had at the University of Iowa. It's special for all of us, and it was a special year in women's athletics. Thank you, ESPN. Clark concluded, I just want to give a shout out to all the nominees and award winners tonight. I'm sad I couldn't be there, but I hope you all have an amazing night. Ahead of the event, Clark was the most nominated athlete, racking up 3 nods for Best Athlete, Women's Sports, Best College Athlete, Women's Sports, and Best Record-Breaking Performance for becoming the NCAA's all-time scoring leader. Despite her recent popularity, Clark did not make the United States women's basketball squad for the 2024 Paris Olympics. In June, she reacted to being left off of the roster. I'm excited for the girls who are on the team, Clark said at the time. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way with me being on the team, or me not being on the team. I'm excited for them. She added, I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them. Clark stated that she had no disappointment in not making the team. I think it gives you something to work for. You know, it's a dream, and hopefully one day I'll be there, she continued. I think it's just a little more motivation, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there. Kind words from someone who was actually a must-pick according to most fans. But what Caitlin didn't know then is that life works in funny ways, and those 4 years she had been talking about could be reduced to only a couple of weeks if Taurasi won't be able to recover fast enough from her injury. A bummer for Taurasi, but a personal win and achievement for Clark. What's your thoughts on that? Should Clark have been on the plane in the first place? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.